Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Some residents of Ikorodu in Lagos State who live below the poverty line of $2 a day have complained of the level of hardship they currently face with the 14 days extension of the lockdown order in an effort to contain the spread of COVID-19. They say it has become increasingly difficult to feed their families. Our correspondent, Gbajabiamila, reports on two of such families in Lagos.
Filth litters the streets in this area of Ikorodu. People here not complying with the physical distancing guideline. They look on helplessly and don't appear to trust anybody at this time. A father of four sits outside as he tunes the radio for news on COVID-19 and the arrival of government representatives for food during the extended lockdown with no luck. Houses like this are common, meant for the poor. Here, the facilities are meager, a common corridor with electricity for the single rooms that face each other. The 63-year-old guides me inside where he lives. A television set, a couple of batteries are the most prized of what he owns. His daughter lies on the mattress studying. Life for him under the lockdown, he says, has turned for the worse.
But you told me that you are earning 500 naira per day. Has that changed?
For that 2,000, if you resort 500 and you go again, whether you go stay again or you come and resort to 500, so as you go make it to go and buy another one. Because all the other one is for feeding.
Unusual uncertainty looms for both the young and the elderly in a state that could be best described as depressing. 2 streets ahead, an uneducated single mother of 2 lives with her aged mother. She was seen washing green spinach for lunch as their resources depletes. She also ushers us inside her room. Cheers television set where her lot as one of her kids, a 2-year-old, sleeps on the floor. She, however, prefers to speak outside. She hopes help will come, and fast.
Do you consider yourself as being part of the vulnerable, the poor of the poor, since you earn just 1,000 naira per day?
I will not tell you that I'm rich. You cannot compare me with people that they are having more than maybe 50,000, 100,000 a day. Government know the way they can do it that can reach us. They should just go maybe house to house, or they should give counsel. I don't think that that's the best for now. Maybe they just go to house. Ask how many people is staying in this house. They will tell you, we are so in number. Then you drop what you have.
Households like these are perhaps considered most vulnerable and a target for government's palliatives. It appears, though, that this pandemic has only compounded the problems faced by this group of people, and they can't wait for this to be over so that they can have their lives back.
There are several families in there, as there are in other places in this area. Their major challenge is how to feed, how to take care of their loved ones. That's a major challenge which they will face for the next couple of days at least. Gimba Umar for Channels Television News.
And let's cross over to our Abuja studios, where Linda is standing by with more stories. Hello, Linda.
Hello, Melinda. As the lockdown continues across the country, Nigerians would have to wait a little longer as they hope for free electricity, as has been canvassed by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. This is because the distribution companies and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation are insisting that the electricity must be paid for by someone before it can get to the consumers. This was disclosed during a meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Our correspondent Terry Kumi reports.
Free electricity has been a subject of public discussion since the lockdown to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Many have been calling for free electricity, which they see as a palliative to help deal with the stay-at-home order of the federal government. The Speaker of the House of Representatives has been leading this conversation for at least 2 months of free electricity for the vulnerable. This is one of such conversations and has in attendance the big players in the electricity sector and the GMD of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. According to the Power Reform Act, NERC was given additional responsibilities for setting up and administering a fund called the Power Consumer Assistance Fund. The Speaker questions how that fund can be utilized for free electricity to the vulnerable.
There is an obligation take from that fund to subsidize. In fact, the word that is used is subsidize in the law. To subsidize, and it describes the class of people you subsidize, the poor, vulnerable people in society.
If you go by this act and the definition, that underprivileged that is speaking to subsidizing would mean that a portion of their rate will not be paid, but it will not be from 55 billion.
For the GMD of the NNPC, someone has to pay the cost.
So when you say don't pay electricity bills for 2 months, you are literally saying somebody should carry this cost and this margin for 2 months. I think it's the best principle that we need to agree. Yeah. Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, of course.
Then we can now come back to who is going to carry it. And Madam Speaker, we cannot guarantee 24 hours power in this country. It's not possible within the field. The Nigerians don't care about all of these things that we said.
Just giving the lives.
All they care about is that you give them the basic necessity of life. And I've repeated this over and over again that we're not doing them a favor. Giving people life is not doing them a favor. Because life is not meant to be a privilege. It's meant to be a right.
While free electricity for the next 2 months seems far-fetched, getting statistics of vulnerable households connected to the national grid may just be another clog in the wheel.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, says measures being put in place by the Economic Sustainability Committee are designed to ensure Nigeria's economy enters positive growth by 2021. She told State House correspondents after their meeting today that the committee is looking at ways of providing care interventions for each sector of the economy as the COVID-19 pandemic drags world economies into recession. The International Monetary Fund had predicted that Nigeria's economy would witness a negative GDP growth of 3.4% in 2020 because of the impacts of COVID-19.
We're looking at various ways and means to support each sector of the economy, providing for each sector clear interventions that will be designed with the primary purpose of creating jobs and ensuring that businesses stay afloat during these difficult times. We are working in the next couple of days to finalize our report, to submit the report to His Excellency the President. The assessment of the NBS, the National Bureau of Statistics, is what the IMF is using, has indicated that we'll go into recession to a level of negative 3.4%. But if we take all these measures that we are planning now, we will be able to, by 2021, go back into positive growth. That is why this is very important. But remember that the President already announced an initial package of 500 billion. So now how that 500 billion will be used, and also subsequent interventions, which will be rolling out when funds from the multilateral institutions come in, is what this committee is working on.
Government Accountability Initiative, Follow the Money, is demanding that governments in Africa must give daily updates on donations they receive and expenditure in the fight against COVID-19. At a virtual press conference in Abuja, hosted by Connected Development, Follow the Money representatives from Cameroon, Liberia, Gambia, Kenya, Malawi, Zimbabwe and Nigeria spoke on the efforts they've made to demand accountability from their governments. Follow the Money says, just as was done with constituency projects, they will be tracking all spending of funds donated to fight COVID-19 down to palliatives provided in all local government areas in Nigeria, bearing in mind the dangers fake news could pose to their credibility. A magistrate court sitting in Wuse Zone 2 area of the Federal Capital Territory has sentenced one Mr. Emmanuel Imodu to 2 months imprisonment for violating the order on restriction of movement in the nation's capital. Magistrate Chukwuemeka Ubani, however, imposed an option of a 10,000 naira fine on the convict who was arraigned on a 5-count charge of disobedience to public order, indecent act, driving without a license, resisting arrest, among others. The court also fixed the 11th of May 2020 for the trial of Blessing Jewel, who was arraigned on a 5-count charge, including disobedience to public order, resisting arrest, and attempt to cause bodily harm on the public officer. The lawyer to the FCT Police Command, Mr. James Idachaba, appealed to residents to obey the order on restriction of movement.